All right. Well, this is a few months back. I did a video doing a full drive home um, using the comma 3 and my 2018 Prius Prime. Week and a half ago or so, I upgraded to a 2022 Prius Prime XLE. That due to changes in the system, it's allowed to apply more steering torque to the steering wheel. The benefit of that, with Openpilot is, I'm just going to increase my speed here a little bit. The benefit with Openpilot is that then it can handle sharper curves and things like that, less driver interaction required on the curves. So this is going to be an example of that same drive from earlier, and I'll put a link in somewhere, probably in the description, to that drive so that you can see the difference. Now I believe that one was on, I was using Shane's custom fork. I'm using Shane's custom fork still. It's a slightly newer version, so I think that one was 0.8.8, I believe. Could be wrong on that. I'll correct that in the description. And now I'm on 0.8.13, so a little bit newer. Some refinements, but kind of in the same family. So hopefully on this drive we're going to see how much less I have to interact with the steering wheel. So it makes it even more chill with the added allowed steering torque. The electronic power steering unit itself, I believe, is the same between my 2018 and the 2022. The difference is more the software and the ECUs, where for whatever reasons, maybe it's better sensors, I don't know, they're allowing more torque to be applied. I believe both Toyota and Openpilot is allowing more torque to be applied, again, which makes it able to handle more things. So anyway, we're getting through some traffic here. This I'm going to steer because we don't quite have navigation yet. At some point I'm hoping we'll get navigation. We'll be able to handle things like that. It'll be pretty awesome. So pick it up here a little bit. Let's see, when I hit this I can don't see what the speed limit is here, so. I'm going to put it in a stock profile for longitudinal, which is the again the speed, how fast you're going. So the stock following distance tends to be a little further, although my understanding is that's supposed to get better as comma continues to enhance their what they call end-to-end long, or end longitudinal. For this drive home, we'll probably keep it in stock so that bit is behaving the way it would if you were on the normal stock implementation of Openpilot. One of the things I like about using Shane's fork is the ability to control the following distance, though. So there's times when traffic's heavy on the expressway. You want to keep a little bit of a closer following distance, otherwise everybody and their uncle cuts in front of you. So, and to me, that's not very chill. So, at the same time, I don't want to be riding someone's bumper either. So the trick is finding that balance. I am looking forward to when stoplights and things get handled. That should be coming at some point in the future on our comma 3s. Alright, let's go. So again, I'm not steering, the car is, or Openpilot is rather. But now in my old Prius, it never would have been able to have handled that without some assistance. I would have gotten turn exceeds torque limit. So that's again one of the really nice things about the newer TSS2 capable Toyotas. Now here it wanted to follow the lead car. I had to kind of give it a little nudge. It's another one of the things that navigation's supposed to be able to help us with. Switch lanes here. Once navigation's available, then Openpilot will know when there's a split like that which way it's supposed to go. So that so it doesn't try to follow the lead car if the lead car is going the other direction. And I'm going to change lanes here. Another thing I like about Shane's Fork is I've got it set so, I look around first and then I hit my turn signal and it just changes lanes without me having to tug on the steering wheel. So in normal Openpilot stock version, you'll hit your turn signal and you got to give a little nudge on the steering wheel in order to get it to initiate the lane change. But in Shane's Fork, as soon as you hit the turn signal, it'll start moving. So you got to make sure you're really paying attention, checking your blind spots, etc., to make sure that you don't don't end up cutting or rather lane changing into somebody. Openpilot, for those that don't know, is a level 2 driving assistance system. Being level 2, that means that you as the driver are always responsible for what the car does. So you want to pay attention. Don't cause an accident. Don't let Openpilot cause an accident. That's actually really important. But honestly, there's so much benefit even just from that, though. Even though it's like, okay, you have to accept the responsibility for what the car is doing. That's fine. As nice as it would be to be able to sleep on the way home, there's enough crazy people out there driving around. I'm happy to have to pay attention. So here, like, I'm changing the thing. Hit my turn signal. Openpilot moves the car over. Turn signal off, and we're continuing on our way. Now again, so like right now I've got the target speed set at 70. We're only going 63 because right now in stock mode Openpilot is leaving a significant gap between us and the vehicle in front. So so certainly it's safer, but again in heavy traffic can be a little problematic. I'll do a quick show of what it looks like to switch it to closer. So I'm gonna switch Shane's Fork into what they call traffic mode. And what that'll do is that'll close that distance up and to something that's a little closer to what I would do if I were driving. So I'm gonna switch lanes again here. You see, I haven't touched the steering wheel in quite a while. Openpilot picked up this car's cut in and slowed down a little bit to give a little bit of room. Now we're picking our pace back up. It's a cold but sunny day today. Started out with a little snow this morning, but everything's kind of cleared up. And looks like a lot of it's melted off, so I should have a nice drive home. And actually right now, from when this started to now, we've been driving the Prius Prime in full electric mode. So I've only got about 5 more miles left of full electric, and then it's going to switch into gas electric hybrid. Alright, so here we're coming up to a turn here. It may end up still needing a little assistance depending on how fast the traffic in front is going. Or if I were to slow it down, right? So it's a 40-mile-an-hour turn. We're going pretty fast. Let's see, they're slowing down. Look, Ma, no hands. So it's the car in front slowed down to just a hair over 40, which was more than enough slowing for Openpilot on the 2022 Prius Prime to be able to handle it just fine. A little bit of a lane change after checking my blind spots, and we're moving again. So still haven't touched the steering wheel in quite a while. So now here we've got some merging traffic. People tend to be a little crazy here, so I am going to slow down here because I don't trust what that blue van's going to do. He's not signaling, but he's sitting where he looks like he's going to cut over. So I'm going to pick that up there. That person's waiting until the last moment to cut over. Now, if I moved up next to him, then we're both going to run out of lane. So this person's just going to meander over. Openpilot did pick it up. Saw the vehicle coming in. But, you know, so that's a good example of those level 2 situations, you know, or because it's level 2, those kinds of situations. Rather than hoping the AI is going to figure it out, for me personally, I like to just take control in that kind of a weird merge situation like that, just to keep it safe. You know. Let's see, I'm going to hit the turn signal to take the exit. Let's see, I think we're going to take this outer lane here. So we've got about 3.5 miles left of full electric, and then we'll be in gas electric hybrid. So let's see. Yeah, for this driving trip from when I left the office till now, little bit that you didn't see on the video, but averaging 169.2 miles per gallon. That's not too shabby. That's going to go down a lot once the internal combustion engine, the ICE engine, kicks in, and that's going to drop back down. By the time I get home, this trip's miles per gallon should be in the 55 to 65 range, would be my guess. So we'll see what that is when I get home. So, again, navigating some tight quarters traffic, so I'm going to handle that myself. And now Openpilot's engaged. Here's a case, this light's probably going to turn red before we get to it. Yep, so I'm going to go ahead and do a nice gradual braking to get a little bit of that regenerative braking, add a little juice to the batteries. And again, at some point, hopefully in the near future, we're going to get a version of Openpilot for comma 3s that will be able to deal with stoplights and stop signs and things like that. So that'll be really nice. Looking forward to when that comes. We'll do I'll certainly do another video at that time when that's available and kind of in production in kind of in their release version. Now, because Shane's Fork has a disengage on gas, as soon as I go, I can engage Openpilot. Now I've got my foot on the accelerator to give it a little more go, because the Toyotas sometimes are a little slow to accelerate off the line currently with Openpilot. I think that's supposed to be fixed when they get end-to-end long working 100%. So fingers crossed for that. So now the no disengage on gas, I believe that's coming to stock Openpilot soon. So if that were the only reason that you were doing another fork, was just no disengage on gas, then it'd probably be better to go back on the stock at that point in time. For me, I'm going to continue to stay on Shane's Fork because of the distance, the follow distance modifications, and the no tug on signal to do a lane change. So that set of stuff together really makes the driving experience great for me. And I've really gotten used to that. On those rare occasions where I have to go back to stock, I really miss those features. So I'm going to start slowing it down here. speed limit's it's a little lower here, but at this time of the evening, kind of commute hours, people are going pretty darn fast through this little section. So we will keep with flow of traffic to not cause trouble. See, it already sees that truck had slowed down up there and started slowing down a little earlier, so that was really nice and smooth. I didn't touch anything for that, so I'm very pleased with that. Now I'm not touching the gas this time. It's not bad if when you're slowing down, if the front vehicle starts moving before you've stopped, then Openpilot in the Toyotas is doing a pretty good job of picking the speed back up. Where it really struggles is if both cars are stopped, the lead car and you are stopped, and then they start moving. There's a big lag for Openpilot to kind of get moving, right? Which is why the no disengage on gas is nice, because if I'm behind a lead car at a stoplight, once they start moving, I can just give it some gas and kind of close the gap so that you don't end up falling real behind, pissing off everybody behind you, etc. I'm going to give it just a little bit of gas to kind of close this gap up a bit. And this little segment, we frequently get people that at the last second decide they're going to turn left. So we'll see if we have to deal with that or not today. All right, good luck. Cool. Just kind of cruising along. Nice and chill. So I've got, I have to go back and do the math on it, but I think I've got, between my comma 2 and my comma 3, I think I've got well over 20, possibly close to 30,000 miles driven on Openpilot. It's really made a huge difference in, I do a lot of long drives. So the company I work for, I have to drive from Western New York down to New York City. I also I coach motorcycles at motorcycle riders at a road course track called New York Safety Track down kind of south of Albany. And that's like a 2.5-hour drive, and I do that most weekends during the summer when the weather's warm and isn't snowing. And so those long drives, those multi-hour drives, are made so nice. Openpilot does such a brilliant job of reducing fatigue, making the drive more enjoyable. So here's another case where I didn't touch anything on the brake or accelerator. It just came to a nice smooth thing. Now I'm going to let it sit here for a second. So this is Openpilot by itself without adding gas. See that big old gap it left? Yeah, too much. So I just gave it some gas to get us moving. Oh, we're getting a red light, and I'm not going to run it, so I had to take over there because we're not quite handling red lights yet. Oh, this will be good because then I don't know if we'll be able to be the lead car or not. Depends on if this car that's next to me decides to gun it or not. So I'm going to flip the Prius into power mode and see if we can get in front of this guy. That was a piece of cake. Alright, so I'll put it back in normal. Adjust my target speed. Okay, so the limit through here is 45. I've got it set at 53, and we've got some curves. So like here in my old 2018, it would never have made that turn on its own. You know, I did get a little bit of a warning, but it easily was able to handle it. Versus my old one, it would have gone over the double yellow line going through there. And same thing on this turn. So in my old one, it would have started running over the white line on the side instead. We're handling this just fine. No alerts, no anything. So that's a huge improvement over what my 2018 Prime was able to do. Same thing here. This is another turn where it consistently, my 2018 was never able to handle it with Openpilot. In here, it took that just fine. So it's great to not have to rescue it in those turns. Got another red light coming up here. So I'm hoping there'll be some tuning available in the end-to-end long, where in hybrid vehicles, if you've got a big gap like that in our cars and whatnot, you want to be able to do a much more gradual slowing to be able to gain, get the regenerative braking, and then pick it back up. So I'm giving it some accelerator now just to get us moving. And then now my foot's off the accelerator, and now Openpilot's handling it again. One of the things that was a nice improvement between my 2018 and the 2022 is they added the little extenders for the visor things. Because that was always a problem. You'd sit over here, and the visor was only like covering this much, and of course your head's over here, and so you'd miss it. So anyway, so that's a nice little benefit of the vehicle upgrade. And yeah, I say a lot at the end of when I'm talking, because I'm not quite sure what to say next. So if that drives you nuts, I apologize. If anybody notices it, the little red cord is just the power cord for my phone. Keep my phone mounted off to the side here. For me, the nice thing about that is then if I'm navigating in Google Maps, then that puts it right up there. If I've got to interact with something, I can interact with the phone. My eyes are still in the plane of the road, and so the driver monitoring on Openpilot doesn't gripe. Versus if I had my phone down here, right, then I'm going to get alerts because I'm not paying it. Can't see the road. All right, so Openpilot slowed because that car was making that turn and slowing down. Lead car left. Now we're back onto our own. Haven't touched the steering wheel since the last traffic light, or the traffic light before the last one that we left. Now we're coming up on some kind of little curvy section here. The last turn of this section is the only one on this drive home that still really has a problem, and I think it has to do with the way the road's cambered. That's the tilt in the road. I think it's just something just not quite right about it. Because I think there's plenty of torque available, but it's just I don't know if it's a planner issue or what, or it just can't handle it. I don't know. We'll see. So you get to see. I'm going to try and let it go though, unless there's oncoming traffic, and see how far it goes over, if it goes over. So, Again, we're at a 45 mile an hour speed limit. I'm at 53. So this part, again, in my 2018 would have already needed some assistance there. In the 2022, it's doing great. It's a little notchy sometimes in the turns. I'm not sure what causes that. I'm expecting that to get smoothed out as latitudinal or whatever gets better. All right, so here I'm not touching it. Not touching it. You can do it. You can do it. Oh, oh, oh. There's a little warning, but didn't go over the line. Didn't hit the rumble strip. Good job. Again, my old one never could have done that. I would have been in the other lane. So huge, huge improvement. So well done. Well done. And most of the rest of the trip home's it's pretty much a straight shot. I'm going to go ahead and let it go. Just kind of up and down hills for the rest of the ride home. Again, one of the things I really love about using an Openpilot and the Comma 3 is the ability to, even if it's a regular driving, so I drive this route every day for work, but I still kind of like looking around. Now see, it gave me a warning because I was looking off to the side enjoying the scenery, and kind of a little mild audio warning to let me know, it's like, all right, you need to pay attention to me. So, but I like the ability to look around some, especially on like nice straight segments like this. And again, even if it's a familiar drive, it's just like, I like checking out the scenery. I really hope that that you have enjoyed these videos and maybe take a little something away from it. And if you think Openpilot's for you, I'd say give it a shot. It's if you've got a supported car, especially if you got a gold car, so they rank how capable, how good a car is for using with Openpilot in gold, kind of silver and bronze. So my old Prius Prime was a bronze car in my 2018, and now the 2022 is in the gold category, which is basically the gold cars give you the best driving experience. But even the bronze one, my 2018 Prius Prime, it was great. I loved it, and was happy. Considered the purchase a good purchase. So, and certainly think I got my money's worth out of it. Again, we got a red light, so slowing down. I'm going to pick it back up. But with that, we're going to kind of terminate it, and hopefully we'll talk to you again soon. Thanks.